What a bizarre world. Indiana is now a football school and Nebraska is a basketball school.
This is Locked On Bets, the daily betting show that means business from the Locked On Podcast Network. Hosted by Lee Sterling and Kevin Rogers, they're dropping fearless picks with an inside edge to put money in your pocket. If there's action, they've got the lock. This is where smart bets start. It's Locked On Bets.
Welcome to the Wednesday edition of Locked On Bets. Kevin Rogers and Lee Sterling of Paramount Sports with you. And as always, we appreciate you making Locked On Bets your first listen of the day here on the Locked On Podcast Network, the number one sports podcast network. And as Lee mentioned in the open, I don't know what a planet we're on right now because Indiana went 16-0 in football and Nebraska is one of the last undefeated teams left in basketball so far at 18-0. As they continue Big Ten play. So let's get it going, Lee. And we're going to break down the Huskers and the Huskies for our lock of the day.
Open it, open it, open it. Lee has the key to the lock of the day.
The mayor, Fred Hoiberg, amazing job there running things in Lincoln. And, the football team's kind of just sitting there. The basketball team's dominating. And what's interesting, too, Lee, is that they're not just sneaking by in these games, Nebraska. They're blowing these teams out. And now they have Washington in, who has, middle of the road team in the Big Ten, even if that. But Nebraska, double-digit favorite at home. So what do you like here with the Huskers hosting UW?
Yeah, crazy. They could have probably, going back 15, 20 years ago, they could have said, you want football tickets? You got to buy some basketball tickets. Now, they could probably say, you want basketball tickets? You got to purchase some football tickets. Bizarro world we're living in right now. Indiana won the title a couple days ago, and this team is rolling, and it's not a fluke. I mean, they beat Michigan State, and they were the better team that night. They beat Ohio State on the road in conference, beat Indiana by 6, dominant in that game on the road, and then also blew out the Oregon Ducks and also Washington by 20 and 35 points. So crazy what we're seeing, but this team is not a fluke. And they're playing a team, Washington, that is absolutely, you talk about reeling. So Desmond Claude, senior guard, he stepped away from the team. He was averaging 13.3 points per game. They're 10-8 straight up and against the spread. They can't score. I mean, they're 155th in scoring. They can't. I mean, you talk about some poor performances, got blown out at home by 17 to Michigan State. They also lost to Indiana on the road by 10. They lost to Seattle University this year and also got blown out by Colorado. So when their football team, whenever they went east, big time problems. Basketball team seems like more of the same here. I don't know if they can pick it up without Claude. And this, like I said, Cornhusker team, you look at all their metrics, just they were picked to finish 14th out of 18 teams in the media's Big Ten preseason poll. Bryce Williams gone off, 24.4 points per game here. We know Fred Hoiberg is one of the best coaches, 44-25 record. The last 2 years, but they do everything. Hitting on almost 48% of their three-point shots here. They got an Iowa transfer, Price Sanford, 16.7 points per game. I just love the chemistry of this team, the way they play together, sharing the ball, play decent defense here. I'm going to go with a lock here right out of the gate. Level 2 lock. Nebraska moves to not 18-0, 19-0 tonight, believe it or not, at home against Washington, level 2 lock.
And the Big Ten, I mean, the top of that with Michigan, Michigan State, Illinois, and seeing what some of these teams have done, Nebraska is in the mix there, that they are not, a second-tier basketball school anymore. They played very well so far. So, good start for Fred Hoiberg. And we'll see if that continues tonight against Washington. Taking a quick look back at last night, Lee, we went 2-1 on our picks. Toronto, they won at Golden State, a high-scoring game, and on the back-to-back, Jimmy Butler obviously sidelined with that torn ACL, but The Raptors, though, pull off the season sweep of the Warriors, and that was a good call by you.
Yeah. Just loved the setup there on the back-to-back after Jimmy Butler was hurt. They didn't want to defend at all. And I think that they're just they don't know where their season's going. It's probably in a death spiral. So, can they maybe have some wins here and there? But you talk about a team that might go on a real steep decline real quick. And it started last night. Sometimes you got to get out ahead of it. I think that was it. So I'll be betting early and often, probably the next week or two, against the Golden State Warriors.
Went 1-1 in the college picks. Lost on Kansas State. They beat Utah, but didn't cover. And in the other game, the very fortunate favorite cover in overtime for Ohio State. They were laying 7.5 against Minnesota. And a quick little story here. So I'm watching the end of the game on Big Ten Network, and Ohio State gets up by 6 in overtime, rather. And Minnesota takes a jumper, misses it. Ohio State gets the rebound. The big guy gets fouled. Thinking, okay, he's got knocked down to 2 free throws, go up by 8. They put the graphic in the bottom of the screen. He's 0 for 0 from the line tonight. Okay, 44% free throw shooter. I said, oh, my God, this guy's not hit. This guy's going to brick him like Chris Dudley out there. He's not even going to be close. First one, right through the hoop. Second one, right through it was like Steph Curry shooting free throws. I'm like, whoa, okay, 44%. This guy stepped up, hit both the free throws. Minnesota missed. Rebound, game over. We'll take it, Lee. The winner by 8. Overtime, always dicey, no matter which side you're on, but got one there, so that was nice.
Yeah, I've lost too many like that. I've lost actually a couple in the last couple of years, getting double digits as an underdog and lose in overtime by like 12, 15, 14, 15 points, which is almost unheard of in just a 5-minute period in overtime. So thank God the good guys finally got a break last night.
Now, quickly, before we get to some of our other picks, we have a hidden gem in the NHL and some player props for the Rams Seahawks. With the NFL, a couple coaching moves yesterday in the last day and a half or so. I just want your thoughts on. Robert Saleh goes to the Tennessee Titans. So take 2 with him after he was with the Jets, didn't work out, goes to San Francisco as defensive coordinator. That's his bread and butter, did a good job, and now got himself a head coaching job. But now he's got to coach Cam Ward, and we'll see how that goes. At Tennessee, the one thing to say about them, Lee, yeah, they have a long way to go, but they did show some signs of life towards the end of the season this year.
Yeah, and I like Saleh. I think with the right ownership and general manager, I think he can be successful. He was set up to fail with the Jets, and then you get Aaron Rodgers injury. But the defense was pretty darn good when he was there, and they were good this year until he just lost. When you lose your best defensive lineman, best linebacker, maybe your best DB, you're in trouble. And that's what happened with the 49ers. They held it together and won a playoff game, but then at Seattle, everything fell apart. So I wouldn't be surprised if he's successful. I think it's a better hire than the Dolphins made for head coach. So, yeah, I think he'll instill some toughness in him. I'm not saying it's going to be a Mike Vrabel turnaround, but you get some players there. Maybe by year 2, they're maybe scratching for a playoff berth.
Now, quickly on this, Mike McDaniel now headed to the Los Angeles Chargers to be Jim Harbaugh's offensive coordinator and be Justin Herbert's offensive coordinator. So what do you think about that? We knew McDaniel probably wouldn't cut it as a head coach, but a coordinator is probably more cut out for him. But now he goes from Tua to Herbert. Yep.
Well, it's the guy that the Dolphins should have drafted for him, but he'll enjoy working for him. And, yeah, I think it's a really good – I think that San Diego needs to be – well, not San Diego, the L.A. Chargers need to be a little more creative, and I think he'll give them that. And believe it or not, he actually likes to run the football. So when he has an offensive line, and their offensive line, which lost both starting tackles, will be back next year. So I like the hire. I think he could be a really good coordinator, and he'll do a real good job there. Just not cut out his temperament and the way he deals with players to be a head coach right now.
Yeah, you have Dockers and sweatpants there on the sidelines with Harbaugh, McDaniels, so fashionistas. All right,
can you imagine?
Yeah.
Can you imagine if he was a head coach for like the Packers or something, or coordinator, and his outfits just doesn't seem right. Looked like when you were watching him on the sideline, you're thinking, wow, this guy, when he was in cold weather situations like at Pittsburgh, it looked like his teeth were probably chattering. He was so cold.
I mean, he can only go to Miami or LA, like Cleveland or something like that, or Pittsburgh.
Right.
No, he's not going to cut it there. He's
No.
got to go somewhere more metro. All right, let's take a look now at tonight's NHL Hidden Gem as we take a look at the Islanders and the Kraken.
To find a diamond in the rough, you need to dig a little deeper for those hidden gems.
I understand we don't like the term. There's two terms I think on this show we don't like. Do and contrarian, okay? Because it sounds like, okay, you're just like throwing something out there without any kind of substance. But I like I like more so that we're gonna have a regression instead of contrarian. So we're gonna go that way. So we're gonna go the first period under tonight between the Kraken and the Islanders. Seattle currently on an 8-game over streak in the first period. They have allowed a first period goal in 9 consecutive games. The first time these teams met on Long Island earlier this season, guess what? No goals through regulation, no goals through overtime. New York won 1-0 in the shootout. Now, will that exact thing happen again? Probably not, but the first time, a lot of defense in that first matchup. The Islanders, they just beat the Canucks. They gave up 2 goals in the first period to an ice-cold Vancouver team, so you'd expect a little bit better of a start from them. I just believe that Seattle, they'll turn it around from the defensive standpoint. They've been terrible in the first period this year, but I think we have a low-scoring first period. So let's go with the Islanders and the Kraken. And also, too, Lee, because the way the number is, the under's at -115. You would think the over would have been way higher in this game, considering Seattle's streak. So let's go with the under between the Kraken and the Islanders tonight. First period is our NHL Hidden Gem.
I'm on it. I love it. And that's one of the reasons I don't go to Islanders games when I'm visiting my daughter in New York City. Games are just boring. You know, they play defensive style. And I think, like I said, Seattle might be due for a little regression here, scoring so much in the first period. So heading east, you know, going to be tough for them. And I like this. We get in, we get out, we get a win, hopefully, and we move on.
All right, so let's take a look. Coming up, we're going to get some player props for the Rams and the Seahawks NFC Championship on Sunday. Later in the week, we still have Thursday and Friday, obviously. We're going to get to the game breakdown. So we're going to give you a little sprinkle here with player props. That is coming up next. You are listening to the Wednesday edition of Locked On Bets. Let's talk now about FanDuel, and we are officially in playoff mode. FanDuel's officially in playoff mode. We all are in playoff mode every game day during the NFL playoffs. FanDuel is giving customers even more ways to get in on the action because right now, every NFL playoff game day, FanDuel users get a profit boost pack waiting for them inside the app. Each game day, you'll see a pack loaded with multiple profit boosts you can apply to the bet you like the most. Open your profit boost pack first thing on game day and see what boost you want to apply. The boost lets you lean into your game day instinct. So depending on which way you want to go, you think it's a defensive battle, you think it's going to be a high-scoring game. We have Patriots-Broncos followed by Rams-Seahawks on Sunday for the right to go to the Super Bowl in Santa Clara. Each play feels bigger, and the boost make your bets feel that way too. You make your picks, then apply your profit boost to go after even bigger payouts while the playoffs get rolling. So visit FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL, and grab your profit boost pack every NFL playoff game day. We continue Locked On Bets here on a Wednesday. Kevin Rogers and Lee Sterling of Paramount Sports. So now let us shift over to the NFL. A couple of player props and a couple of wrong team/player favorites.
What the
WTF.
So we're going to concentrate both on Rams Seahawks. We won't play the video again. We'll just go straight into the second one. But the first pick, though, Jordan Whittington of the Rams. We know with Puka, Nacua, Devontae Adams, all of the weapons Matthew Stafford has. And one thing he's done, too, I mean, he's going to be the MVP, but he's shared the ball a lot, too. If you look at the numbers, a lot of different players, receivers, tight ends have caught balls from Stafford. So Jordan Whittington here, Lee, what do you like with his prop coming up on Sunday?
All right. Well, out of nowhere, this guy has become, I think, a threat. The over-under on his receiving yards in this game is going to be 8.5. Weather looks like it's going to be fine, so that's important. In the last game, he did catch 2 balls against Chicago for 35, and I think he was looking at him a few other times. He just happened to be covered. So last game against Seattle, caught 1 for I think it was 16 or 18 yards. So All we need is one catch, 9 yards, 10 yards, and we got the winner here. So out of nowhere, I know Puka's great. I know that Devonta is amazing, and those are his top two guys. But I think he's looking for a third guy, and it might be Jordan Whittington here out of Texas here. So all we need is one catch over 8.5 yards. Love it here. Like I said, nice little hidden gem.
All right, now our second one. So Zach Charbonnet, he's out for the Seahawks. He got injured last week against the 49ers. Now it's all on Kenneth Walker. And do you think he's going to eclipse his rushing yards prop on Sunday?
Well, a lot of people love him here. They figure that Charbonnet's not going to play here. His backup is Velus Jones Jr. I don't think they have much confidence at all in him. But just because a guy's going to play, most of the game doesn't mean all of a sudden he's going to go over that total. I think the public's in love here with the over 88.5. I'm going to say here, just wait. I think it's going to end up 91 or 92. I know he had 97 against San Francisco in Week 18, but had 51 against Carolina the game before. He did have 100 against the Rams when they played late in the regular season, but 55 was on one play here. They're about as healthy as they've been in a while here. 67 in the first game. That's right, just 67 the first game against the Rams. So I think Seattle's going to have to throw more to people like Kenneth Walker and their tight ends. They're going to try to take away what they do best and their top receivers on the outside. So we're going to wait a little bit. We're going to wait a couple days here. Wait till probably Friday, maybe Saturday. I think total gets up to over 90, and we're going to go under the rushing total here for Kenneth Walker III versus the versus the LA Rams. It's going to be not my wrong team favorite, my wrong player favorite.
All right. And with that being said, Lee, you have a lot of props to offer at Paramount Sports. Good deal coming up for this weekend.
Yeah, we think that we just love the props here, and there's so many. We're going to have trouble whittling it down. People who don't play player props, you're missing out here. So I'm going to offer the deal of the year. 10 player props combined, both games, not 125, not even 55, $25. You heard me correct. 10 player props combined, both games, just $25. How do you get it? You go to ParamountSports.com. You call 800-400-9741. Also, the UFC starts back up. We'll release that card probably later tonight or tomorrow. So big weekend coming up.
Yeah, looking forward to that. And also, if you don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Locked On Bets, as well as the podcast version. If you just want to hear us, you can find it on Spotify or Apple, or wherever you get your podcasts. For Lee Sterling, I am Kevin Rogers. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll be back with you coming up tomorrow for another edition of Locked On Bets right here on the Locked On Podcast Network.